Everybody, we are back playing some Isaac, farming some pogs. You know how it is. It's not much, but it's honest work. Let's click the randomizer. Don't make me look bad. Just give me something easy so I don't have to hit the reroll button. Okay. Well, you drive a hard bargain game. Dark Judas to Mega Satan. Honestly, Mega Satan isn't even like that much of a... I don't even want to say a negative, but that much more of a difficulty modifier, because I should probably be trying to go to Angel Deals basically regardless, I think, is probably the best possible option. Anyway, that's all I got. I'm not like a guy who goes outside or anything. I'm just like a guy, like, my anecdotes all come from, like, inside now, man. It's crazy. It makes a lot of sense given the circumstances, don't get me wrong, but it certainly leads to some more philosophical discussions and also a recap of the day's streaming events, where today I played Super Mario 64, Super Auto Pets, and the new map in Alt F4 that is actually just, like, heinous. But, I mean, what more do you want out of Alt F4? You know, you don't want them to release... Well, I mean, I wouldn't actually mind if they released some easier maps, just more content in general would be fun, but, you know, the masochism is not part of the enjoyment. It's, like, the main source of the enjoyment, so I can't really be too upset. But yeah, it was good. Had a good time, obviously. Playing Mario 64. I did some runs last night, like... The beauty of that speedrun going down from about an hour to about 40 minutes is that it's much, much easier. Come on, dude, don't insult me. Don't insult me. I'm a very important person. Look, you want this to happen to you? I don't think so, so you better think about that before you seed that next item room. I would love Black Candle. I just don't think we're likely to be able to afford it, but I guess never say never. Unless you're saying never say never. Then you can say never 2 times. Ooh, you know what? One more bomb, we might be able to get Black Candle, actually. Yeah, but one of the beautiful things about having like a roughly 40-minute time instead of a roughly 60 or 70-minute time is certainly a lot easier to sneak in like a run or two before bed, which had previously not been an option, you know? Usually I finish... this is not a woe is me moment, by the way. I made my... Look, I talk about how I don't have, like, that much leisure time, but the truth of the matter is that I do take about... What little leisure time I have, I take about an hour of it in the morning to do the exercise. So, like, I'm making a choice there. Just because that time comes in the morning and I'm sweating it up doesn't mean that that time is not, like, my time. Something holding me back. I forget the song from Wrestling Empire. I forget parts of it. At least. But usually I finish like my YouTube stuff, like thumbnails and stuff like that. It's maybe like 8:15. I try to go to bed at 9:30. We got a little kitchen tidy up to do, you know, do the dishes, stuff like that. So you can see how, you know, coming from a 70-minute run to a 40-minute run, you know, it's like accelerated progress. It gives me the chance to get a little better. Oh, I was not charged up there. Gives me the... I was charged up, I just didn't hit the button. I'm bad, officially bad. You didn't listen. You didn't listen. Now look at you. The other thing is, as a rapidly aging individual, I guess I'm not rapidly aging. I'm doing it at the same pace as most people, but... as an individual who is aging in general, check this out. We'll be back. Anarchist Cookbook is kind of pog if you're a genius. Because look at this. Free bombs. You gotta love it. The longer, like, BLJs, which is the funny backwards long jump in Mario, the longer it takes to do, the more likely it is that the tendon, I mean, I'm sure there's like dozens of tendons or whatever, but the main tendon connecting my right thumb to the rest of my hand, it starts to burn up a little bit, you know? It starts to feel like, hey, don't use me this much right now. Like, I got I got problems here. Okay, we're gonna just head down immediately to the next floor without worrying about this. 2 of diamonds. Look, it's not the best use of the investment there, but that's okay. And then let's just get this deal with the angel if possible. But it's weird, right? Like, you'd think that it would work in reverse, but the better you get at it, the faster you can do it. That's not true with everything in life. I can think of one major exception. Slow cooking food in a slow cooker. So true, so true. But it means that you can actually get more reps in before your thumb starts to scream, even if it screams after roughly the same amount of button presses, right? Like, it's kind of crazy. It's the good get gooder, in a way. I wonder if that's true with anything. I honestly think that is kind of true, or at least in my fairly, amateurish mindset, or to the capabilities of my instruction. I thought that was kind of true for me, like, in programming. Like, the first programming class I took, I felt like it's all foundational stuff, right? What's a data type? What the heck even is an IDE? How do I structure my files so that they can actually, like, like my code can read from a file and write to a file and stuff like that? What the heck is an array? What the heck is a for loop? It wasn't until, the second programming class I took that, let's go, that built on that, where I was like, oh, now that I'm spending way less time debugging the same error over and over, which is just a simple array out of bounds exception, I feel like I'm learning at a faster and faster pace. But I don't know if that's true with everything. There's stuff in life where it works the opposite way, I think. Like weightlifting, for example, you tend to make a lot of progress relatively early. Really? Okay. Just because you haven't done it before, your body responds a little faster to that, and then later you need that, like, diligence and consistency to get any progress at all. But I definitely, I agree with this quote. Not a quote, maybe it's like a philosophy that's like, people always, and you've heard me say it a dozen times, people always overestimate what they can do in the short term. It's always like, I'm going to lose 10 pounds by my wedding. And they always underestimate what you can do in the long term. Take me down here. I say everybody. What I mean is a very small percentage of the population is like, what cryptocurrency is going to 20x in 2022? Nobody's like, where's the S&P 500 going to be? And I'm like, I'm a step even more psychotic than that. I'm like, I wonder how the bond yields will be affected by the Fed's taper, Anyway, that one might just be legitimately stupid, though. So don't, I'm not a financial advisor. I do listen to a lot of investment podcasts. I say that knowing it probably reflects negatively on me for, like, a lot of people. But I listen to them. I just find it entertaining, for one. But I also always laugh, because at the end, like, financial podcasts, like, they'll legitimately spend 2 hours giving financial advice. And then at the end of the show, they'll be like, and remember, what you heard on the show today does not constitute financial advice. We are simply here as entertainers. Like, it always reminds me of, like, you see, like, online casino ads when you watch, like, hockey games in Canada. I'm sure, it seems like every ad, especially if you're watching sports these days, is for some kind of, like, gambling entity. If not, like, a DraftKings or something like that, then it's, a genuine online casino. But they always have, like, somebody come in and be like, they don't say, like, I made $10 million, but they're flashy, they're wearing an expensive suit, they got a fancy, expensive haircut that makes me, like, real jealous and stuff like that. And then at the end of the ad, it's like, hey, Lion Casino is only for fun. We don't accept money or anything like that. Like, I'm like, how can that be true? There's no way you're not running like a Pogo.com sort of thing where people are just spinning slot machines for the enjoyment of it. Where the heck is... I don't know if it's like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, or what, but because like the ads are out there in the open. Like this isn't like a situation where it's like on the deep web or something like that. Like they're running the ads on the CBC, our publicly funded broadcaster. We're not like other countries. We don't have a BBC. We have a CBC. You didn't listen. And now look at you. Thank you. I don't know how that works. I mean, look. I'm not gonna necessarily judge anybody's vices. I always just say, you know, like, I'm happy that for whatever reason, you know, I've never been into gambling just because it seems like it has the potential to be, let's not, you know, play the game of like which one's worse, but it seems like it has the potential to be one of the more destructive ones to people's lives for sure. Not that, you know, smoking or drugs or alcohol or, you know, what are the other sins? Smoking. I remember, I've seen Seven. Smoking, especially if you're smoking in the boys' room because it's not allowed in school, I've heard. But anyway, I'm surprised at how quickly it went from like something that didn't, like, I mean, it hasn't been quick, but something that was considered not socially unacceptable, but at least like socially kind of spicy, at least, to now being something where everybody's like, oh yeah, you know, did you see the lines on DraftKings today? Like, I went from having no friends, like, no friends, just in general, obviously, but it used to be that, like, you would watch, like, The Sopranos, and Tony Soprano would have a bookie or something like that, and you'd be like, whoa, that's crazy, he's, like, a criminal. Nowadays, everybody's like, yeah, I mean, I'm on FanDuel, I'm on DraftKings, I'm on King of the Draft, I'm on King of the Fans. Like, it's just, it's everywhere now. I remember when I was a kid, I mean, I was maybe like 12 years old, there were plans to build a casino in my hometown, and it ended up getting shot down. I don't know if it was at a referendum or like city council voted it down or whatever. I'm gonna be a little boring if you don't mind. But one of the cited reasons that many people said for why they didn't want a casino is because they worried it would bring undesirable elements to my hometown, which is very funny. Because what they ended up doing was building it like 40 minutes away, so instead everybody in my hometown that wants to gamble has to take a shuttle bus that leaves from the Staples and then, like, you know, drive 40 minutes to get there. But having been there a few times, there are no undesirable elements visible at the casino to the naked eye, at least. Just a lot of very, very bored senior citizens having the time of their lives, hopefully. At least momentarily. But so I'm not taking a position either way, because that would alienate portions of my audience, you know? It's just business 101. But what I am doing is I'm just saying it's surprising how quickly it kind of like, it seems like the attitude kind of shifted. That's all I got. I mean, I'm not an advocate for gambling. In fact, if any, I'm not opposed to other people having the right to gamble at all. I am kind of like anti-gambling myself on like a principle level, but I really, just to be honest, like don't care. And I have gambled a little bit like in my life, but I just, for me, I think I'm lucky I don't see the point. That's you know, the thing that I think I'll just consider myself blessed there. If you can do it and, like, you know, stay above water and you actually have fun with it, it's not like a compulsion, then more power to you. Not that I mean, I think I could. I just, again, I don't see the point. I have too much loss aversion where, like, I have said it 1,000 times, like everything else in this series. If I lose like $100, it feels catastrophic to me, and if I win $100, I'm like, so what? That's not the economics that you want, I think, if you gamble. I think if you want to get enjoyment out of it, you gotta be like $100 down the drain. No big deal, dems the brakes. And then when you win $100, you gotta be like, holy crap! This is a free $100. But I am not like that. I'm very much the exact opposite. Planetarium chance? Dude, red halo kind of sick, huh? Cool effect. Take me down, I guess? Yeah, we got our key piece. This is like the easiest run I've ever seen in my life. I am very blessed. I did it all myself. The game had nothing to do with it. Just kidding. Haha. Don't need to go there, that's for sure. It's surprising how quickly it changed, though. Was it all due to the influence of Uncut Gems? Probably not, on the other hand. I do also understand, having been to Las Vegas, or was it heaven? Little Cocteau Twins reference for you there. I don't know, the jury's still out. Did they ever release a song where they answered the question? I've been waiting for years. I've been waiting for 30 years. I get the appeal, because like when the Canucks were bad was when I was in Las Vegas. I placed a bet on them to win the game, and they lost the game, but I was like more entertained throughout the game as a result of having some personal investment in it. If I wanted to win, I would have bet on the Flames, who they were playing, who were a much better team, quite frankly, and still are as well. I said it. Yeah, I'm saying it. But I kind of get it. I do also, I've never used DraftKings, but having seen screenshots, it's like, it's all parlays, right? That's kind of, it's so funny to me that that's like the thing that's the main conceit of Uncut Gems, is like, check out how insane Adam Sandler is. He's placed a 7-leg parlay, which a parlay is a bet where you have to, everything in the bet has to go exactly the way you bet in order for it to, I mean, that's pretty good, honestly. In order for it to hit. And then DraftKings is like, I'll take Tim Tebow to do 7 kneeling prayers before halftime. Let me get 2 field goal misses off the right upright in the visitor's end. I don't know if that's actually how it's like. I'm honestly just trying to fill some airtime, quite frankly. Okay, good. Black Lotus. Why did I pick this up? Is actually worse than nothing. But it's so rare, it feels amazing, man. How about that? Okay, one of these days. I know good items exist. Guaranteed, man. Guaranteed. No, yes, thank you, I guess. I was going to say no thank you, but that's just foolish bravado. I guess truth be told, I don't really need bombs, considering the fact that I have Ipecac, but that's fine. What, you already knew that. I know what you're going to say, NL. Have you seen The Matrix yet? I have not seen The Matrix. I'm so messed up, dude. I haven't even seen Spider-Man, and that thing's like 8 days old at this point. We're trying to make plans to see it, but it's hard. And I know that this is like a constant refrain from me, but it's so hard to go see a movie right now because of COVID. No, you dip. Because of my freaking, because I was gonna say because of my freaking baby, but that would have come across way more aggressively. But it's a combination of being like, well, Omicron has cut capacity in the theaters by 50% and also lessened my desire to be outside. But then on top of that, I go to bed at 9:30 p.m. like a psycho, and all these Marvel movies are 4 hours long, so, you know, you can have a cameo from Gorgatron, who's like, oh my god, in the comics, he was Lobo's driver, you know? That's crazy, they're gonna give Gorgatron his own movie. 80-year-old me would have been like, what? Gorgatron? Really? I mean, I'll take it, man. I'll take it. Question marks? This is... Yeah, this is not horrible, at least. I do kind of want that Azazel's horn, which we'll go back for here. But, well, look at that. So it's half that, and also half that I go to bed at... well, and then getting a babysitter, for sure. And then also going to bed at 9:30 p.m. like a psycho. So there's like and our daughter going to sleep at like 7. So it's like There's a 15-minute showtime window where I can go see the movie and not destroy my sleep schedule. But the funny thing is, I think we are gonna make it work. But The Matrix annoys me, man. Not like on the level of the films, but on the level of the distribution. Because it's streaming on HBO Max in the US, right? But it's not streaming on HBO Max in Canada. They gotta sort that stuff out, man, because the same thing happened with Dune. My country does not have that many people in it. How much could it be compromising and we're like kind of locked down sort of a little anyway. How much could we possibly be compromising the box office gross of The Matrix, man? Versus what you've already done to compromise it by having America be able to watch it streaming on HBO Max. And then, admittedly, part of the problem is that like HBO Max is not available in Canada, but whose fault is that? It's not like there's like a HBO mine or something like that, and like, oh well, the veins have run dry, you know, just release the app here. Oh, but you wouldn't understand, we don't have the rights for the Larry Sanders Show in Canada. We only have the rights in America, El Salvador. Yo, Birdcage kind of a poggy get there, huh? It's just, I mean, I'm not like that annoyed, but I'm eager to see the new Matrix, despite and also partly because of the user response to the movie so far, which seems to be a lot of people being like, this movie's kind of beautiful, and a lot of people being like, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I gotta know. I'm a sucker for those love it or hates it. And I don't always love the love it or hates it. I know a lot of people seem to find themselves more often on the side of loving it. Oftentimes I am on the hated side, but I always have a strong opinion. And the emotions that elicits is like, you know, that's the meat and potatoes of the human experience right there, is feeling strongly about something. So I wish that it was available to stream here, but unfortunately, my country, I guess, is such a cinematically overpowered engine for Warner Brothers that they couldn't possibly release it on HBO Max here, and instead, I guess I'll just, like, you know, extend the pandemic a little bit, trying to find an opportunity to go see it. If they could have a showtime at exactly 7:14 p.m., please, then, you know, it's not worth it, but we'll see. Because I want to see it. That's gotta, I mean, I guess it's from WB's perspective, maybe it's not the perfect movie for streaming because it cost them, you know, probably over $100 million to make. But from the viewer experience, that's the perfect movie to justify paying for one extra streaming service for 1 month. Because, like, I don't get me wrong, if it came out on, like, Paramount Plus, I don't know if I would watch it. I think I might try to, you know, just hold out. But, you know, like $9.99 for 1 month to watch a movie like The Matrix Resurrections that I fully expect is not that good, but I'm curious to see it. You know, like it's that's like the perfect use case. I think, at least. I don't know. What do I know at the end of the day? I'm just spitballing here, man. It's just a guy who hasn't left his house in a bit. That was like a very elegant play. Very beautiful. Very swag. A bone heart? No thank you. I'm on a diet. So anyway, yeah, that's my thoughts on The Matrix. I mean, I don't know if people know this, but like, living in America, maybe like parts of it kind of suck, but specifically from, parts of it are kind of pog, by the way. Like people from my country, at least when the border was slightly more open recently, they got sick of waiting for their third shot here to get their booster. You just drive down to America, like any pharmacy is like, oh yeah, like you want some for the road? No, I can't take them across the border. If you could just jab me like 5 or 6 times, though. If you hit a CVS, a Rite Aid, and an Albertsons, you could actually get 3 COVID doses in like 24 hours. I don't even think they're checking your ID, man. Like, to be honest, I don't recommend it. I'm sure that's probably would have adverse effects at that point, maybe, if you just started mainlining the vaccines. But it's kind of admirable how out there the vaccines are. Whereas here, I've got to wait for a text from Dr. Bonnie Henry that's like, hey, we're saving your appointment for 5 minutes. Thanks for sending the text at 2:16 a.m. I really appreciate it. Anyway, I'm not trying to get into the vaccine envy stuff. I'm just saying. The other thing you should realize is that in America, you're actually living in like the mecca of content distribution. Like well, I shouldn't say every, because it's possible maybe if you're like really into anime or Korean dramas or something like that, you might struggle a little bit. Like, it would probably be more convenient if that was your main squeeze to live in Japan or South Korea. But most movies especially are just built with you in mind. Like, you might not know this. You might still be able to watch like free episodes of The Daily Show and South Park and etc. online on Comedy Central's website. Not in Canada. And I know you're like, well, that's because you don't get Comedy Central. Yeah, but even our Comedy Network, I think they eventually got on it. But there were like 4 years where you could watch them on Comedy Central if you were American, but not on the Comedy Network website if you were Canadian. Like, because I think the Canadian website just linked to like the American URL or so. It was a mess. It was, content distribution has come a long way in the last 10 years to begin with, but I'm not complaining that much. I'm just saying. I think you might not know this, but if you live in America, one of the things you Google as a Canadian sometimes when you hear about a cool show or movie is how to watch X in Canada. Because in America, it's on Netflix, but in Canada, it's what the heck? First, do you have a pen? You know, like that's the first step. Because you're going to want to write this down. I think in America, you don't Google like how to watch X in America most of the time. You just Google how to watch X, and you don't even realize how fricked up it is. So anyway, I'm just jealous, I guess, at the end of the day. And the truly messed up thing is that, again, I enjoy The Matrix 1. I mean, I more than enjoy. It is probably one of the defining films of my adolescence. I think The Matrix 2, that one I enjoy. It's got a lot of problems, but there's some cool looking stuff in it. The Matrix 3 is like not very good. So maybe I'll like this one. I don't know, but I'm at least interested. I at least want to give it a try. And like my country is so small, like not geographically, but like in terms of its population. Come on, man. The box office gross for Canada overall is probably equivalent to like the box office gross in California. You're really gonna be like, all the states can watch this except California? You don't see how messed up that is? You're just a hater, WB. You're just a hater. That's the takeaway, I think. That's the take-home message. Okay, the way that this is already over. We already won. Just like when Agent Smith says, "No, Captain, your men are already dead." Right at the start of The Matrix 1. I was kind of stunned to see that The Matrix 1, it kind of predates Metacritic, obviously. But it only has like a 74 on Metacritic? Come on. Like, movies very rarely get into the 90s unless they're critical darlings, but like, you gotta at least have The Matrix in the low 80s. Like, that movie is not just, it's the rare intersection of like fun, but also like kind of important. Like, both from a technical standpoint and also it has some commentary in it. Like, how dare you? How dare you, Owen Gleiberman? Give it a 3 out of 4. It can't be perfect because there's kung fu in it. Favorite movie of the year? Oh, Shakespeare in Love, hands down. You hear how ridiculous you sound when I make up your opinion in my head? Anyway, what was I talking about? The Matrix, of course. I remember what I was going to talk about. Probably the most clutch dark arts you're ever going to see. I am going to use my... Help me. I'm going to use my Alien Soul of Azazel when we get to phase 2. Why is it alien? I don't know. Doesn't this kind of look like a piece of alien technology? The rune itself? Kind of looks alien to me, brother. I don't know what to tell you. But what if the aliens were themselves? Something I think about now and then. It really makes you think. You guys think the pyramids were really... I'm just joking. I will say every once in a while, like one of the cool things about being a morning psycho, if you're on Twitter in the evening, at least North American, you know, West Coast time, all the trending topics are Minecraft Twitter, like, you know, Dream, Quackity, Ranboo, etc., etc. Even though I have no knowledge of the circle essentially whatsoever, although I do think I played against Tubbo in a chess tournament on Twitch. Owens. We're just gonna relax for a second. Okay, and then we're gonna go in here. But apart from that, it's just sports. Basketball, football, the Masked Singer, I guess, as well. If you're on Twitter in the morning, they try to trick you into thinking that there's like a cultural moment around stuff that no one is talking about. Like, I was in the bathroom, I opened up my phone. It's probably like 6:50. It said, "Trending now, Ancient Aliens airing on the History Channel." And I was like, shut the frick up, man. Nobody's got 6:50 a.m. Pacific time. Nobody's like, I gotta jump in on the conversation in this syndicated episode of Ancient Aliens. I don't believe you. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps it a great deal. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. See ya!